All right, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about broccoli and steaming broccoli the proper way. Now, you may have had friends, family, kids, grandkids, neighbors saying, I just hate vegetables. And believe me, I know what you're talking about because I know a lot of people that think the same way until I've cooked vegetables for them. And everything changes when you learn how to cook vegetables the proper way. And today we're going to talk about broccoli and how to do it properly, okay? So this is one head of broccoli and I've just put it into kind of like spears, very simple. And what we're going to do is, you could eat this raw, obviously. And inside of this are all the nutrients, the vitamins, everything that's good for your body, right? Well, what happens probably from when you were growing up, you ate vegetables and you hated them. Why? Because they were mush. They were overcooked. And that's what makes vegetables just lose everything. No flavor, no taste. You just want to throw them out. So I want to teach you the secret today about making some really, really good vegetables. And if you share these with your friends, I promise you, you can turn anybody into a vegetable lover. First thing we're going to start with is getting some water. We have about 2 quarts of water in this pot, and we're going to add some kosher salt and probably about 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, okay? Now, you may be asking me right now, all right, Chef Brian, kosher salt, why kosher salt? Why not iodized salt? You know, what's the difference? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So before I go on, while this water is coming to a boil, I want to talk to you about something that's really, really important. So imagine your dream house, okay? Let's say it's 4 stories. Let's say it has an amazing balcony, right? And you're overlooking the skyline of a city. It's just gorgeous, right? But your architect said, which would be me, for instance, you need to build that house starting on the 3rd floor. You're like, what? Yeah, we're going to start building the house on the 3rd floor. Well, what's going to happen? It's going to collapse, right? Because there's no foundation. Cooking is the same way. So here's my point. What I want you to understand is I can teach you all of the recipes and all the techniques that you want, like what kind of salt to use, okay? And even how to cut your broccoli properly, and when to bring the water to a boil, and how we're going to cook this properly. But these are all the foundations. So we're building a house of cooking, but you've got to learn the foundations. But fear not. Fear not. You don't have to be taking notes every single time. I've actually written a guidebook. It's an ebook. It's kind of like it literally is a blueprint on everything you need to know to build the foundation, like building your dream house, so you don't have to worry about messing up in any recipes. Because once you understand the foundation, sky's the limit for you. So please, if you're interested, I really highly recommend you pick up this book. As a beginner, you're really going to want to learn all of the ins and outs about how to build this foundation. I talk about what kind of oil to use, how much heat to use on certain items, what kind of pans to use, what kind of salt to use, how to prevent foodborne illness. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and it is a great, great book for you to have by your side that will help you build the foundation that's going to help you go from beginner to intermediate to an absolute fabulous cook. But you've got to start with the foundation. All right, so we're going to wait here for a minute for this water to come to a complete boil, and then I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to cook this broccoli. All right, as you can see, the water is starting to just get ready to come to a boil. But I want to show you what we're going to do once we dump this broccoli in here, is that I have a bowl here. This is really important. This is a bowl of ice water. And what we're going to do after we blanch this broccoli is we're going to shock it. That term shock is really important. And what it does, it instantly stops the cooking process. If we were not to shock it and you just took it out and strained it, what's going to happen is what we call another concept, it's called drifting. And it goes for anything, any meat or whatever, pasta, vegetables. If you don't stop the cooking process, if you're not going to eat it right away, it's going to drift and it's going to continue to cook. So we want to shock it, right? Again, don't worry about all these terms. They're in the book. There is a link in the description box below. Grab your book. It is going to be your best friend as we go through all of this. Trust me on this one, okay? All right, water boiling. In goes the broccoli. And what you're going to see is you're going to, wondering, well, restaurants, they always have this beautiful green broccoli. How do they do that? What's going on? I'm about to show you. This is exactly how it's done. Is before the service even starts in the restaurant, what's happening is they're doing all of this pre-prep. I urge you to learn about, again, in the book, link in the description box below. I urge you to learn about these foundations. Let's build the house from the foundation, not from a third floor. It's your beautiful cooking experience here. So if you learn these techniques, you're on your way, okay? I mean, believe me on this. So what's happening here, as you can see, the broccoli is nice, getting nice and green. We're not cooking it into mush. It's retaining all of its beautiful color. All the nutrients are all there, okay? And you can always tell a good vegetable when you can taste the vegetable, meaning that it should have a crunch to it, a bite to it, not limp and soggy where it's just mush, which so many of us grew up on. So we're gonna leave these in here for about another 30 seconds, just like so. All right, we turn the heat off, and now we go over to our ice bath. And all you want to do is you could strain this, or you could do what I'm doing, just take your tongs and drop them in the ice bath. And this is, again, what we call shocking. We are instantly stopping the cooking process. If I was to leave this piece of broccoli out there like that, and within 5 minutes, that's going to turn brownish because it's going to continue to cook. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you, is that it needs to be shocked, okay? So we get it all in here like so. And we just mix this around, and the cooking is absolutely stopped. And look, we have this beautiful green, fresh, beautiful broccoli. Now, from here, you can just take a Tupperware, like I do, and you just, look, completely and totally cool. And we just take it out now. And you can do this if you're serving a family or your family and you want to do this in the morning. Go ahead and shock your broccoli or any vegetable and get it into your ice bath and then into a Tupperware. And then when you're ready to serve later on in the evening, you know you're going to have an excellent product because everything is all ready to go. And now it's just a matter of, what do you want to do with this? And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this and show you how easy it is once you've shocked your broccoli and how you're going to get the most amazing flavor. Okay? Hang right there. All right, so we have our broccoli. It's nice and shocked and it's beautiful. Look at that, still perfectly green. So let's say it's now dinner time or lunchtime and you want to be able to, okay, it's time to serve the family. Let's get a burner on, maybe a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, probably about a tablespoon. We're going to put about a tablespoon of butter. Okay, this is really simple. Don't get freaked out. I'm just going to show you a way to make some broccoli that is just to die for. So we're going to get this melted in. And you just won't realize how simple this is, but the flavor, the difference is astronomical. You just won't believe it. Really. You're building the house from the foundation up by learning the techniques, learning the tips, learning the knowledge. Okay? You can't go wrong. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and place our broccoli in. You can do a couple batches. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. I'm going to put a little salt, a little pepper, and now I'm going to kind of let it rest in here, get it nice and coated all around. Look at that. And so what I like to do from here is I turn off the heat, okay, and I'm going to get a top. Show how that's going to come down. So you just find a top, any top. I've got a large one here. It doesn't fit this, but that's fine. And you just want to let that sit. What that's going to do is that's going to just make sure the heat gets all through the broccoli, nice, so it's nice and coated. You could put this in the oven if you wanted to. Or you can just continue to turn and turn and turn. Or even so, one of the things you could do is add a little bit of chicken stock to this too. That'll give it a little bit more moisture. That is not necessary, but it's certainly acceptable and will work perfectly fine. So after a couple of minutes, we're gonna let this sit and let all of that fat just absorb into that broccoli. We're gonna get the broccoli heated all the way through. We're gonna plate it. I'm gonna show you just how delicious this is. Okay, so this has been kind of steaming now for about 3 minutes. Nice. So you just take the broccoli out, and it still has its nice crunch to it. Oh. The color, of course, is just gorgeous. One of the things you also can do is you can add some lemon juice to this as well. So much. Now, what I don't want you to do is throw out this fat, the oil and the olive oil we use, which has the residue of the fat and almost made its own sauce. You see how that is? Isn't that gorgeous? This is what it's all about right here. Look at that. And then at the last minute, I take some fresh Parmesan, like so. And tell me you have had broccoli like that. All right, let's get a close on this. Look at that. Look at that. That is, I mean, really, really, really unbelievable, fresh and delicious broccoli. I mean, so much that I think I'm going to go in for one. That is so good, I can't stand it. The natural sauce, the fresh hint of the Parmesan, properly seasoned with a little bit of kosher salt and black pepper, the combination of the oil and the butter. But first, remember, we steamed it and parboiled it first in salted water, then we shocked it. Put it aside. When we're ready to serve, then we sautéed it with some butter and some oil, salt and peppered the broccoli. We let it steam for about 3 minutes, then we finish it off with the juices from the pan and then the Parmesan on top. Oh, so delicious. Absolutely. I mean, you're gonna be blown away. So there's some steamed broccoli for you. And again, don't get freaked out by all the terms, okay? It's all there for you. It's in the blueprint. It's in the ebook. There is a link in the description box below. It is not gonna break the bank. You deserve to have this. Keep it by your side. As you're watching these videos and you follow along with this blueprint together, I promise you will elevate your cooking confidence like never, ever before. I'm Chef Brian. I can't wait to see you right here next time on Chef Brian's Kitchen.